Hi, today I want to talk about getting your business unstuck. You might feel like your competitors are way ahead of you, that you should be getting more traction than you are. You're quite certain that there's more business to be had in your market, and you've got all the bells and the whistles in place too, right? Like you've got you've got testimonials from actual great work that you've already done, proof that in the pudding, so to speak. You've got you've got your operations dialed in, your supply chain on point. You've got everything, the whole recipe, the whole shebang ready to go. Just not enough lead flow, or not enough opportunities or at bats to grow and to be exactly where you want to be, right? And this is not an uncommon problem. I mean, every business experiences slowdowns, but when it gets past the slowdown point and you're just kind of sitting still and the phone's not ringing and that sort of thing, then it becomes, for the business owner, anxiety starts to seep in. Like, what's going on? What's happening here, right? So in today's video, I would like to offer a few different things that, might be obvious, but might not be obvious to you to try. My name's Charlie Harper. I own a successful marketing agency, full disclosure, and I am a service business growth strategist. I started out in 2001 as a side hustle, and since 2015 I've been full time. And my job, my team, I don't eat, my children don't eat, nothing. Nobody eats unless I solve these types of problems. So hopefully this video helps you out. So essentially, one of the first things that I want to kind of point out is a very obvious thing, your offer, right? But I want to come at it at a different angle, perhaps, that, because if you're stuck and you feel like you've got a good offer, you've sold this offer before, and you're like, what the hell's going on? You might be like, well, Charlie, I've got my operations dialed in. I've got all my checklists already built out for this offer. This offer is amazing. It's even priced competitively in my market. So that's great and all. But the problem is not what you're doing and all that, and who you're doing it for, perhaps either. The problem is actually, and if I could sit here and do this properly, is message variation. And this might seem obvious, but it's actually not. A lot of people, once they have, I do this service, and I'm doing this real time, people. Sausage is being made right in front of your eyes. We'll even make this one yellow just so it's different. A lot of the times what's happening is you don't have enough. You're making assumptions, essentially. You're making assumptions based off of other people in your industry. You're making assumptions on competitors and things like that. You're not actually using the feedback from your own buyers to chart the course, so to speak, to get more business and to gain more market share and traction. And a lot of the times the reason for this is because you don't allow campaigns to run long enough. You don't actually populate your campaigns with enough variation to actually get good data as to what messaging actually works. So if you're stuck, one of the first things that you can do is go crazy with the variation of messaging. A and B and C and D and all that sort of thing, and label it as such. Let's say you decided to put a Google or a Google Ads campaign out, or a Facebook ad campaign. If you're only running one ad in that campaign, Facebook now has variation in headlines and things like that, but still, a buyer. Your offer solves a problem, right? But a buyer has many symptoms leading to that problem. They might not even know it's that problem yet, or they have micro sub problems that are solved by your offer, and they are in that mindset. Their mindset is not, solution aware yet. They are thinking, oh, they might be problem aware. They might be, they're not necessarily sure that your offer fixes that problem, but basically there's multiple ways that they are searching for things. I'll give you an example. I work with a landscaping company, and I've never seen the word sod installation searched for in so many different ways in my entire life. Like, you would be shocked at people during the spring searching for sod and rock and all the different things that would go into their yards and for beautification or whatever, drainage and all this. And just sod in and of itself, I bet, there was close to 100 variations as to how people search for that particular service versus whether it was the actual sod itself, the installation, the equipment around it, and all these different things. And they are just constantly searching for all these different variations, and you have to dial that in. You have to pay for that research, so to speak, either in time or money. I mean, you could be cranking this stuff out organically in, blog posts, social, you're cranking videos out or something like that. You could be testing it that way and organically as well. But the faster way is to actually put ads out into your market with the different messaging, at least to dial in the messaging, and then take that data to improve your organic reach and that sort of stuff. So one of the first things you need to do is basically variate your messaging, the crust around the offer, right? The positioning, the way you're presenting it, the benefits, not the features. That's one of the first places to look to find the key to unlock the stuckness, right? And to say, okay, adds A through M, and L. Finally, L is the one that cracks the code, and they're all running simultaneously. And you start to see the pattern. Oh, L is like, people are really, coming through on this one right here. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to test this assumption further and make an ad in Google Ads based off of L, right? And then you put that out there. Marketing and advertising. And I know you're going to, every business owner that I think I've ever met, including myself, if my product could market and sell itself like Apple or something like that, and I wouldn't have to market and advertise, then, you wouldn't be seeing this video right now, right? But basically, you have to pay for data in the market. Advertising, a lot of people are anti-advertising, but they don't realize advertising also plays a role in research for your business and finding out what's going to win, what's going to work, So definitely start having the grit to stay the long game with your budget. Once you decide, it's like when me and my buddies go to Vegas, right? We go to Vegas and we're gonna take a certain amount of money with us to have fun, and we don't expect to bring that money back. If you come back on the positive, that's great. But if you don't, you don't. You're out, right? So that's the way you roll with it. So start putting more out into the market. Don't make assumptions about channels working or this thing is dead anyway and all this kind of stuff, right? The next thing I want to talk about, I'm going to move my own head around here, is reach. Now this kind of ties in with that, taking and putting more messaging out into the market, right? It definitely helps. And one more note about the messaging. Be sure that your messaging is, I want to harp on the benefit part. It's not like industry knowledge and jargon and all this kind of stuff. You have to really, I worked with a law firm one time that did estate planning, and the messaging that they were putting out into the market was all about recent court cases, and their consistency was sporadic, and it was only based off of what was in the news that they could write about and that sort of thing. And but then we took over and we identified who their primary buyer was, which was families, married couples, things like that. And you start to think about, okay, it's that service that they provide solves a core problem, but the worry, the emotions, the things that surround what's important to a family and legacy and all these different things and all these topics to talk about, they weren't talking about. And once we fixed that problem and we put a chatbot on the site where people could convert right on a blog post, it solved a lot of problems. And all of that blog post stuff is about messaging, right? We're putting messages out there constantly, and we're giving someone an opportunity to raise their hand when they're on that piece of content. So, but on to reach, right? Like, if you're targeting a local market, I'm going to challenge you right now to do something that you might not be actually doing. You might, I know online is the land of milk and honey. I am an online entrepreneur. I own a marketing agency, but I actually own an online business. My business is anywhere with power, internet, and a laptop, right? My team is distributed all over the world and literally can run anywhere. It's an internet business, right? And I get it. Like, there are gobs and gobs of people out there on the internet and you could obtain business from. I get it. So we'll talk about reach as far as online here in a minute, but I'm going to challenge you to go hyper local. And I'm not just talking about with local SEO tactics. You should 100% be doing that and trying to rank in the map pack and that sort of thing 100%. But that is not what this video is about. If you want to hear more about local SEO and those types of tactics, please let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to start creating content around that. What I'm talking about is your actual visibility in your community, like physically, like are you networking inside? And I'm not talking about going to the chamber event and passing business cards around and none of that bullshit. I'm talking about, are you participating on your planning board or your board of directors for your chamber, where you can tap into other business owners and things like that in the area that can help refer business to you? Are you on like your art council board or the Parks and Recs board or something like that? Are you participating in those community events that come around, like the concert series or the movie series and these types of things, the 4th of July, the parades? Are you involved in any of that? Are you sponsoring the Little League teams? Or are you, or the Parks and Rec teams that are coming around? Are you visible in your community, like at the events and everything? If it really is I am very much a trickle up type person. I believe in strong family builds a strong community and then that grows outwards. Well, as far as reach is concerned, if you're stuck and you're only focused on online reach right now and you're stuck, it's time to take the, put the coat on and walk out the fucking door, right? Like it's time to go out and see some folks and start beating on doors and pushing your network. Now you can do that, and this video is primarily about marketing. I can get into sales process and partnerships and things like that down the line in future content. But as far as marketing is concerned, your brand has to do with your visibility, not just your logo. And so if you're stuck, get out into your community, apply to be on boards, get involved in that way, and you'd be surprised how quick some things like that can turn around. Again, we're not talking about sales right now. We're talking about basically building your brand inside of your local community by being involved and being present. Now online, the tough love I got to give you right now is about grit. A lot of the times, one of the biggest patterns I see is that companies don't allow campaigns to mature. They don't allow campaigns to run long enough. And this ties back in with the variation in messaging too. They don't run enough messaging out there in the market to see what will work. They don't run it long enough to see that it'll work. They don't do any of those types of things. And so basically, online, you don't have to, it's true, you don't have to be everywhere. But your ass should be everywhere you should be. Right? This idea that, you look at what your competitor is doing and, oh, you see Facebook ads and, you think, oh, I should just run Facebook ads. No. I have something I've always said, and I've put in other content, but nothing is dead until you kill it yourself. You have to kill it. You can't look at some video on YouTube like this one or something like this and assume that it's not going to work for your business. I tell you what, you dial in that message and then you identify the actual channel, all the different channels that you could be on reasonably so within your budget and your resources to do so. And you put that message out there all over the place, you're going to blow up, right? But you've got to pay for that time. You've got to put in that time to find what actually works. That crust around that positioning and that message around your offer is likely broken. You could spend all your time building SEO all day long. Oh, I'm cranking blogs out every week. I'm cranking blogs out every week. But if you're talking about shit that doesn't matter to your buyer, it doesn't matter. It has no, that reach that you're building will never ever get you the traction that you might think you're just doing work to be doing work. Oh, I'm checking the marketing box because I was unwilling to pay the ad dollars and take the time to find the actual message that works. If you are stuck, most of the time you're stuck because you are not connecting with your buyer and your focus on your buyer is off point. So as far as reach is concerned, you have to have the grit and the stomach to put yourself in the market and just know that it's a long game. And you need to, at the same time, be everywhere that you should be, but not everywhere, if that makes sense. So know where your audience is and be there and vary your messaging until you've got it dialed in. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is probably one of the biggest problems I solve with every company I have ever worked with. You spend all this time and money to reach people, either in advertising or SEO, networking events, business development, partnerships. You do all of this stuff to get people in the door. And some people come through the door, they open the door, and then they walk away and they don't do anything. Some people come in and become clients, and that's great, but then you perhaps sell a service that's a one-off and not a recurring thing. And then you've got people who, then you've got current clients, you've got past clients, you've got people who, you lost, like you almost had the opportunity, but you lost, that sort of thing. And you have all of these people that have come through the door at least, right? They are warm. Might not be hot, but there's a lot of warm leads there, right? And you have absolutely no system of follow-up with these people that is running constantly and in a permanent fashion. And I'm not just talking about, and in marketing terms, this is called remarketing, right? It's where, your current clients, are you diversifying your offers where you can cross-sell them, downsell them, upsell them, ask them for referrals, ask them for recommendations? Are you, these people who have a good relationship with you, are you keeping constant communication with them other than just sending them an invoice or, scheduling the next service appointment and all that kind of stuff? Are you asking? Are you educating them? Are you nurturing them? And then also the people who came through the door but didn't take action. Do you have a program to continue to touch those people 24 months down the line? Are you running retargeting advertising to these folks? Making other offers like a free webinar or a downloadable, even those aren't working. I don't recommend them as much anymore. But are you giving them something for free? Essentially, is there something for free that you are offering these people in an automated, systematic, evergreen, 24/7, 365 manner? Do you have a CRM in place? Do you have a welcome sequence just a simple welcome sequence that nurtures someone over a month-long period when they first come in and fill out your contact form? Are you dropping then those people into what we call a top of mind campaign that may go for 12 to 24 months out, that takes someone from, coming in for a very specific problem and then educating them about all the things that your company might offer from that point forward? Is all of that systematized and in place and ready to go? See, oftentimes with some of our clients, specifically law firms and high ticket service sales type situations, your buyer's cycle may be longer than you assume. We have real data and actual feedback from clients of our clients who said, we chose you because of we kept getting your newsletter every month, or we chose you because of the content on your website, and in combination with keeping in touch with us when we were actually ready to buy. We had a life event that kind of stalled our buying process several months ago, and your email reminded us, or your ad on Facebook came through and reminded us to pick this ball back up and start running with it. Do you have those? It is so following up. Probably one of the best in sales. Now put the sales hat on, right? Following up, a sales process that follows up with people can be automated in the marketing sense, right? Like sales, following up is definitely one of the highest percentage plays to finally convert someone. Like providing them valuable content and informative information about, the problem they're trying to solve, and all this in sales is just as important, but are you doing it in marketing? And so not having a system in place to take care of this, if you are in a slow period right now, you are stuck in your business and you are not getting traction and things are slow, build that system while you have time. Before you get busy again, while you're trying to find your messaging out there, using that reach, and you're slow and you don't have enough work right now, build a follow-up system. Because the follow-up system, whether you like it or not, is essentially what helps combat feast and famine, the ups and downs of a business. It's basically growing that list and continuing to nurture against it, and then getting opportunities out of it, asking of those people to refer you not just to other individuals, but to go into social media groups and mention your company, things like that. There's so many different angles that once you have people to follow up with, that you can put them into different sales funnels, right? Different opportunities for a new offer, an offer that kind of sits next to the offer that they originally bought. I can't talk. I'm not editing that out, by the way. Purchased. You get what I'm saying. So basically, if you're stuck, I'm going to recap here. You need to have around your offer in the market, organically and paid, as many message variations that you could possibly come up with. You could go in to Chat GPT if you're stuck with something like this, and just prompt it to say, hey, I offer this service to this ICP. Like, I'll give you an example. I offer estate planning to families with high net worth, and I want to create an advertising campaign with 20 different message variations for this offer, and then list out what the offer is. Can you give me some ideas? Now, not all of those ideas are going to be usable. You're definitely going to edit every single one of them. Please do not just post straight from what it gives you. Take your industry insight, knowledge, and expertise, combine it with the ideas it gives you, right? And then go out and say, I'm going to take these 20 ideas, or more, that you can kind of, if you want to leverage ChatGPT to kind of help start the message variation engine, right? And go out and create that in every deliverable vehicle, social media, organic social media posts, paid social, Google AdWords, blog posts, inside your newsletter, whatever you have capacity to do, and put it all out there and then just watch. Now, I do suggest that if you don't know how to do this, and if you want me to create a video on it, I will. I do suggest you use UTM URLs wherever possible, so that you know that you label these ABCD blah 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 blah, and you got that in your UTM URL, so that when it's coming into your analytics, you can actually see the data. It's not just assumptions anymore. That's what growth marketing is about, essentially. And basically, growth marketing is not about attribution inside of software and all that anymore. It's about actual buyer data. Like, what did the buyers do? And you learn from that, and that's what you use conversion rate optimization for. You get the buyer data. The hell with what, clicks and click-through rates and all of these different things are. What did you put out there with your UTMs? What did that tell you about your messaging? And then when you have decided what that is, fucking run with it like crazy until it doesn't work anymore, and the market has changed and adapted, or your competitors have caught on to your ass. And you go through this exercise again and you redo it, because the only constant is change. It's not a permanent solution, but I guarantee you, if you get out there and you actually put into work to get some variation, have the grit to keep your reach going, to get through the data learn, and you get a system and follow up with all these damn people coming through, you're going to win. You're going to get unstuck, and I'm rooting for you. My name's Charlie Harper. This is my first YouTube video, and I'm trying to get more comfortable talking on camera. I hope that I do. I'd appreciate a subscription and a like, or whatever, or what other the young kids are saying these days, or whatever. I'm one of these 40-plus YouTubers coming online now. So anyway, if there are topics about service business growth that you are hungry for, that you don't want to dive into some paid course for, and you'd like somebody who actually has real world 2 decades of experience doing, kind of teaching you and holding your handle on the way, give me a subscribe and a like, and in the comments, let me know, give me a question. I'll be happy to answer it for you. And I'm wishing you the best. Thanks.